All right, so we lost Gary Jacobs due to poor connection. Gary Jacobs was commenting in the prior production that children exposed to prolonged alienation, it's not as simple as them just returning later in life. Sometimes the damage is permanent and reconnection has not happened. So Gary, can you continue your thoughts on that?
This damage is permanent. Who's going to make it right? Are the courts going to make it right? What are they going to do? My opinion, Mike should be in here filing a petition, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm not giving legal advice, Mike, I'm a friend. I'm doing this as a president of Americans for Legal Reform. I think Mike should get his ass in that court tomorrow and say that I don't want her to see the kids for 7 months, because that's the way it's going to counter. What about get fucked up and all the psychological damage that's been done from being kept from their father? What message was sent that their mother went to court and a judge, Judge Spinner, agreed that this loving father shouldn't see his kid? Of course, the ironic thing is the whole time that the man was so dangerous that he needed an order of protection, he was driving a freaking school bus full of kids. So how ironic is that? You know, why shouldn't he be locked up in a jail to protect himself from, you know, the rest of society, from this dangerous man? It's ridiculous. There was never any allegations of physical abuse, threatening. The signs themselves said, I love you. I love you, Liam. I want to see you. I want to, a father and in fact, Mike says in his sign, a father and a mother shouldn't have to fight to see their child. This is absolutely ridiculous what went on here today. As I said, thank God the judge did the right thing. Doesn't always happen. Thank God the law guardian did the right thing. And, you know, it's also nice that Deborah Gilligan had a real piece of crap attorney. This woman sucked. What was her name? Sparacino? The woman was totally freaking incompetent. Didn't know what the hell was going on. Everything she was trying to go outside the scope of the petition because she was grasping at straws. She knew she had nothing. And instead of doing the right thing, Sparacino, what you should have done is said, Deborah, dismiss your petition and give Mike give up the time that he missed, because what you did was disgusting. And this is why lawyers get a bad name. We're not talking about a lawsuit. We're talking about she's an accomplice from keeping Mike away from his children. And guess what? I will love the day when Mike finally gets to federal court or he gets her arrested for doing what she did. And let's hope Deborah Gilligan pays. And as I said, anybody in the community who knows this piece of shit, Deborah Gilligan, an alienating, child-abusing mother who kept a loving father from their children for 7 months, shame on you. Shame on you for what you did. And now the judge agreed. And I hope all of your friends and followers, I guess you have no friends and followers, because who was there today? Mike Gilligan had half the courtroom filled up. I don't think Deborah Gilligan didn't have anybody with her. What does that tell you? Where were all her supporters? Anyway, I don't have anything else to say, but I'm disgusted by what went on here. I'm disgusted by Judge Hinrichs, what he did, what Judge Spinner allowed to go on in this courtroom. It was really disgusting, but thank you to the judge. And really, the judge today, Hughes, didn't do anything outstanding. He listened to the evidence and made a decision based on the fact. Unfortunately, that's not common in this place. And this is a person who should be promoted, but unfortunately he won't be. He'll be kept down in family court. This is a man who should be in Supreme Court ruling on cases because he was fair. And the guys who came out from Brooklyn to show their support, and other friends of Mike's who came out here but didn't want to be on camera today. They were a little bit shy, but Mike does have a lot of people that care about him, and Americans for Legal Reform, we care about him. I know Carlos does, Randy Bazzogi. You know, it's not easy to get people to come out here, but, you know, the courtroom was filled. Well, I say half the courtroom, the side behind Mike Gilligan was filled up. There was nobody behind Deborah Gilligan except for a few law students. So that sends the message right there.
Thank you, Gary. Well, Gary has a tendency to sugarcoat what he wants to say, and sometimes it's hard to get through to the point through all that soft icing. What I do want to say is that as a physician and a pediatrician, I do make my fight for the protection of children against alienation, which is clearly a form of child abuse. It saddens me that Mike trying to reestablish with his sons resulted in an order of protection and 7 months of damage where his children were no longer able to see a loving father, and they were further programmed against him where they're taught to not want to see him, to fear him for whatever reason. And this is part of my fight. Naturally, it brings in family law reform, but my concern is that there's a common misconception that the children will eventually see things on their own, reestablish with the parent as adults, or you know, that the time will heal and the children will be able to figure out what's going on. And in my opinion, it's like a disease. If you don't treat a disease early, it just gets worse. There's further damage, and the situation many times can become terminal. So while some children recover from alienation attempts and later on reestablished with the parent that's been alienated or targeted, there's damage done to the children, and we all must remember that these children undergo a different type of brain development under this type of stress. They later on have difficulty with social situations and interactions with other individuals and peers and other children and other adults. Later on, this leads to maladaptive decisions, poor health, and eventually early death. So I want people to continue to fight for what's right, to raise awareness for parental alienation, that it's a form of child abuse that should be legally punishable. And I thank you for your support and ask you to continue supporting each other and fighting for the rights of our children. So until we see each other again, take care. There's also a lot of other developments with, I would ask people to keep track. I have a court appearance on March 6th and another court appearance on March 23rd. So I ask for your support and your hopes and prayers that things go well and I can continue my fight for reform and to protect children. So until I see you again, take care and thank you.